don't know if anyone has ever noticed, but my glasses are actually crooked, and if I can't like somehow tuck them into my hair, then they don't get fixed, and it really annoys me because I can draw my motherfucking eyebrows on even, but like I don't know if it's Mother Nature or the people who made these glasses couldn't do it right, but my Virgo ascendant just like hates everything about this incompetence. There's a bunch of nonsense and a mess behind me, but whatever. I've had a really stressful week. I have so much stuff going on, and that's why I wasn't able to record a video last week. The main reason was because the charger for my Mac exploded. I heard like this snapping sound, and it got like really hot, and then there was like a crack in it, and then it stopped working. So today we are doing Saturn in the 8th house. The thing about this placement is it tries to bring control to a very emotional place, a place where we can't control what happens, and there's a lot of things we don't want to face, and people with this placement decide they just don't want to be thrown about by these emotional ties. They're going to try and find control among this very crazy place. Your father, if you have this placement, he might have really seemed like he was an asshole to you, and the reason for that is because he wanted you to overcome your fears, and that seems very harsh. That's not to say he wasn't a great father, because that depends more on your aspects to Saturn, and this video is not about that. But that's why your father seems like a jerk to you sometimes. It's just because he wants you to be able to deal with things. You might find yourself saying, well, I saw that coming, because when you have a problem pop up, you knew it was inevitable. And because you saw it coming, you feel like you should have control over it. You are almost thinking you're more aware than other people are, and maybe if you stay on top of things, then you can prevent things like that, but you really can't. I think this placement is about trying to learn not to control things to an extent, because it's an emotional place. The 8th house is emotional, and emotions aren't meant to be controlled. And this is coming from a lunar Capricorn. I have learned the hard way that emotions are not meant to be controlled. They're meant to flow freely. And maybe you can be aware of what's happening, but you can't stop it. You can only be responsible for your own reactions to it. You can't control the situation. You can't stop the water from pouring in, but you can decide to prepare. You can decide how you're going to deal with it. You can't control what anyone else does. You can't really control how other people are feeling either, because what you're supposed to take responsibility for is the way that you're feeling, not the way that other people are feeling. You can't stop people from dying. You can't stop taxes or I don't know, I'm just trying to think of health stuff. You're scared of things happening, and this placement will force you to confront your worst fears. And because you're so scared of these things happening and trying to prevent them, trying to control the situation, that's how you end up getting very stressed out. And this emotional control that you want, it makes it harder on you. When you try to control your emotions, it makes it harder on you because, like I said, emotions aren't meant to be controlled. The 8th house is things you cannot prevent, and you will find your solitude in accepting that and just letting things go. You might feel like this is forcing you to become cold and callous, but really you don't, and you never will. Someone with this placement does not take things lightly. And you're never going to take them lightly, but you are going to learn to deal with them. These things weigh so heavily on you, and you will find your strength in moving on. And when you don't try to control things so much, that will make you feel free from this sense of impending doom that you always have. I had to move the computer because the sun is going down. It's doing all sorts of crazy things, and now it's too dark and it got too bright for a little while, and my computer is also dying, and these videos aren't really working out. But anyway, the great thing and the horrible thing about displacement is that you have to take responsibility and express your authority in an area of life where no one wants to go for the most part. You are not going to deal with the same problems over and over again. You're going to have something new thrown at you every time you have your Saturn return, and I guess whenever you have something you have to overcome in life, it's going to be the things that you really didn't want to happen, like your worst fears coming to life and you facing them and being a strong person. And that allows for so much personal growth. But obviously at first it's not something you want to do. It's not something you feel like you signed up for. But in a way, maybe you did sign up for it. Maybe we choose our own hours of birth. Maybe you knew you could handle this. You see these things coming. You know how to prepare for them, but maybe you're just trying to prepare in the wrong way. I know I said that the things that happen to you are things that you can't prevent. But one thing I think people do wrong with this placement is their own curiosity. You know that saying that curiosity killed the cat? Well, a lot of times you have a very dangerous sense of curiosity because, like I said, you just want to be very aware of everything, but very informed. You want to know what exactly you're dealing with, so maybe you can prevent it. But you're never meant to prevent it, you're always just meant to cope with it so you can grow as a person. You might be thinking there are specific things that you need in order to be able to grow as a person. And that's kind of where the sense of wanting control comes in. You have things in the world that you are emotionally attached to. You have people, you have security, just all sorts of things that you need to keep in line in order to keep your life fulfilled and keep you attached to the world. But I think you need to be able to adapt to change and be like, okay, I can do without this, and learn to make some sacrifices. And that's how you end up growing as a person. You're not a shallow person, and you probably place a lot of value in things like love, your family, the connections you have with people in the world. But something holding you back is, even though I'm sure you know that there is more than just this physical world, more than the things that are keeping you attached to the physical world, you know that there's all these unseen layers of reality. I don't really know where I'm going with this. But okay, where do people go when they die? I don't know. I don't know for sure. You probably don't know for sure either. It's very unlikely that you have, seen it and you know for an absolute fact. You can have faith if you want. But I think what's important is for people with displacement to always ponder things like that. If someone dies, it's upsetting you. What do you think happened when your loved one died? Are they in heaven? Are they watching over you? Are they a ghost? Are they still right next to you? Do you feel their spirit? is it's supposed to teach you something in life, you know, to grow and learn to live without them. And instead of always viewing these things as a problem, as a tragedy, you have to take the tragedy and make something wonderful come out of it. And I hate saying that. I really do hate saying that, because I know what it's like to have bad things happen and then have some asshole sitting here telling you that good things are going to come out of it. And right now I am being that asshole. But I think you have to look on the other side of the dark side. And maybe things seem bad, maybe they seem horrible, but think, what good can come out of this? Because there is a place for growth and transformation in the worst things that could possibly happen to you. The things that you were just hoping and praying that you would never have to go through. When you get thrown into those situations anyway, then you become an amazing person. And even though I don't have this placement, I believe I have lived a very hard life. And something I think about a lot is, despite the fact that I don't want anyone else to have to live through what I have lived through, and I have a lot of concern for people who might be dealing with the things that I was dealing with, and I have compassion for them, and I would never let my daughter live the kind of life that I lived when I was young. Despite all of that, in the back of my head, I am just always thinking that people who don't live through tragedy are not going to have these experiences that have given me so much perspective and taught me so much. And people who have Saturn in the 8th house need to accept tragedy as lessons. And that sucks. That's sad. I'm sorry. But just always think beyond what you are seeing here. Think beyond what is attaching you to the physical world, and try to understand the bigger picture. Try to understand what will eventually come out of this, and don't look to that with fear. Don't fear what's going to happen. Just try to understand it and accept it and see the bright side of what's going to happen after the things you didn't want to happen do happen. Anyway, I'm Penny Astrology. I'm really sick of my glasses being uneven, and I don't know, in this video, I guess I had such a bad week that I decided to not even pretend like my glasses are even. So, I hope you liked the video. If you're interested in buying a reading from me, that'd be great. By the time this video is uploaded, it's already going to be April 15th, so I won't be anywhere near as stressed out as I am now. Hopefully, I don't know. I haven't looked at the transits yet because I'm too busy. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Mwah! Goodbye. I almost think I should have waited till the sun went down to do this video so it'd be all creepy like the 8th house is, but